Hello, magnificent human beings. Welcome back. So now we're going to get into our standing series. So to begin in your standing series, you start laying down. Just kidding. Actually, stand up here on your mat. And again, finding yourself in the center of your mat or at the top, really kind of doesn't matter too much. So an awesome standing posture that is in tons and tons of yoga classes is tree pose. So tree pose, just begin with your hands on your hips, and then so your left ankle, you can do one of two things. Kickstand it on the inside of that opposite ankle, or bring it over here, kind of crossing it over. And really, whatever you want to do, whichever side is fine. This is maybe actually a little bit more advanced because kind of teaches you to bring this leg back a little bit. So maybe starting here for now, or kind of whatever feels comfortable for you. So in your standing leg, don't lock out your leg. So don't rest into your joint and hyperextend your knee. There's a big difference between this and this. It's really only maybe a half of an inch difference, but you should be engaging your leg so it's nice and strong, but not hyperextending and resting into that knee joint. So, kickstand that left foot on the inside of your right ankle, hips square with the front. So it's good to have your hands on your hips so you can kind of square them here. And then it's good to allow this leg to come on back. So you're going to notice there's kind of a pull and play where the more you bring this back, the more this hip is going to come forward. So you still want to keep your hips square, but leave this leg to kind of pivot and relax towards the back of your mat. So holding here, this is the base of your tree, and this may be as far as you come. That is perfectly fine. Again, everybody else is at, a different place in their yoga practice. Then you begin to bring it on up. So a few options of where to place your foot. One is down here, just kickstanding on the mat. And then the next one is on that inner calf. And the next one is up a bit higher on that inner thigh. So you never want to rest this heel in at your knee joint because that's going to put unnecessary stress on your knees. So bring it on up to here if you wish. And in whichever version of the pose you're in, right, still keeping this knee relaxing back, even if it's way up here. So. And finally, when you're in your tree pose, growing your branches. And release on down. So shake it out, move around a little bit. Next side, so this right foot kickstands right here, or bring it on up, or bring it on up. Really wherever you like is perfectly fine. So just leave it here on the mat, that's cool too. And a few breaths. Bring those hands on up. Growing your branches. And release on down. So that's our tree pose. And next is standing forehead to knee. Standing forehead to knee is a really advanced posture, but there's actually some really good modifications you can do to get lots of benefits out of this pose. So in a traditional standing forehead to knee, you actually will bring this knee on up, grab it with your hand, extend it on out, and bring your knee all the way to your forehead. I was just whipping through it to kind of illustrate. And that's not where we're going today. again, like I said, standing forehead to knee, there are some other really great benefits to this pose. So for now, just find balance on your left foot and then raise your right knee up and just interlace your fingers underneath that leg and just hold right here. So this is actually a modified standing forehead to knee. If you want to amplify, you can use that leg strength and bring that leg on out. Otherwise, just leave your leg right here. And that's basically it. Next side, so left knee comes on up. Interlace those fingers underneath that leg. Roll your shoulders back, and this foot, this whole leg, actually relax it. And again, you may be somewhere totally different. You might be right here where you're still trying to find your balance. That is perfectly fine. So wherever you are in your standing forehead to knee, there's a lot of work to be done in almost every level of somebody's practice. So again, just the basic part holding right here is perfectly fine. Next, another popular pose in yoga is eagle. So to eagle wrap your arms, bring your hands on up. Bring your left elbow in to your sternum. Bring your right elbow on top of your left and wrapping those palms around. So if your palms can't come to touch, that's fine. You can grab for opposite shoulders as well. So here in your eagle wrap, as you come down, you actually want to keep a flat back. So a typical thing that most people will do in their eagle is kind of lean forward and then bring this over and come into their eagle. And it's a little more difficult than that. So you have to kind of imagine you're sliding down an imaginary wall, keeping your back as flat as possible. If you're tilt back a tiny bit, or this way a tiny bit, it's fine, but nothing too severe and hinging forward. So sliding on down that imaginary wall. When you feel the temptation of your heels about to lift off, bring that left leg over your right and just kickstand it at first. And this is fine. Some people will go and bring that foot and wrap it all the way around behind your calf. And this is an option for you if you're more flexible, but if not, just holding right here in your eagle is fine. And release. So I'll do this from this side this time so you can see the opposite one. So, okay, both arms up and then right elbow comes in, left on top of right, and then wrapping those palms around or grabbing for opposite shoulders, whichever you like. Sliding down that imaginary wall. When you feel the temptation of your heels about to lift, just bring that right knee over your left. Hold right here and take a few breaths. And release. Shake it on out. So in your standing series in yoga, there are a lot of postures. I'm only going to go through a few of maybe some of the more popular ones that you'll see. So we'll do one more, and this is also more advanced and challenging posture. Standing bow pulling. So, or dancer's pose. I've kind of heard a few different names for this posture. So bring both hands up overhead and then bring this arm all the way around a few times. You're just wanting to open up this shoulder, and then you pause with that elbow in at your hip. Find some balance on your right foot and then reach back and grab for that inner left ankle. So you'll know you have the grip right if your bicep is pointed out. A common mistake is that people will just grab right here on the outside, and you actually want to open up this arm and grab on the inside of your ankle. So grabbing on the inside of that ankle, and again, this might be as far as you come in the posture because you're still trying to get your balance and then, find your focus on the wall and just breathe and be grounded and not wobble around all over the place. And so again, everybody's in a different place in their practice, and that's totally cool. So staying right here, or if you like, this pose is all about the kick. So you begin kicking into that hand, kick, 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 and then eventually you start to hinge on down. Move back on the mat so we can see. So kick, 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 and then hinging on down. So again, this posture is pretty advanced, and as you begin to grow in your yoga practice, then this pose is another one of those that actually comes quicker than you might expect. So let's look at the next side. Right hand grabs the inside of your right ankle, left hand up overhead, kick, 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 and then hinge on down. And release. So for demonstration purposes, I'm just moving a little bit quicker. Typically you hold these postures for a while longer. And if you fall out, or if you have to come back into the posture, that's totally fine. We're all human, and you gotta start somewhere. So thank you so much. And now things get a little bit easier as we get closer to the mat in our restorative series. So I will see you there. Thanks.